to that next level of farm. But I mean, at this stage, these two teams know each other extremely well. They faced off many a time. And will BB Team finally be able to vanquish Game & Gladiators as they've taken every single Tier 1 tournament first place finish so far in this calendar year?
Seems like we'll just have a 2-for-2 trade, as I think top 6 is already BB Team's best land placement. So if they were to win here, they're just going to skyrocket that even higher. But I don't know, I'm just a little afraid for Gamen's early game. So we'll just have to see if BBT are going to have another explosive game, as they did in the last one.
And it will be GPK on the Primal Beast against the Quinpango, of course. And from the Primal Beast perspective, do you think this is going to be a good game here? And we talked, or the panel discussed the interaction between GPK's ult, the pulverize onto Quinn's Rolling Thunder, which I'm pretty sure that's a bug.
It probably shouldn't cancel it.
I have a hard time believing that's a feature.
Yeah, I feel like it should hold him in place but not cancel the roll.
Yes.
So overall, GPK should have a good game. Like maybe in the early game it's a little annoying that there's some kinetic feel and like I guess a little bit of this Pango roll. But later, once you have a BKB on him, I don't see anything stopping him.
Yeah. Yep, no doubt about it.
Pure.
And through, okay, Pure. Is he actually be taken out this early as a Tidehunter? He's only level 1, of course.
Oh.
Just that anchor smash to work with. Mystic Snake's coming for you.
They need one more.
Dyrachyo not gonna try to force it. We'll go back to lane to be able to get some nice last hits. Save doing some damage to Celery in the meantime, but yeah, the Tide in kind of a precarious spot, has to walk all the way around towards that Lotus Fountain.
At least him being out of the lane is very good, right? Generally speaking, Pure is always owning his lane. Save is going to do his best to try and help out down here. And up top, this Underlord Morph match, I think it relies a lot on the first few waves, but if Ace has a first couple of good waves, you're definitely one of the heroes that you can stand your ground against a Morphling and even contest the CS.
And we'll see if they get some stacks for Pure as well, because that's another offlaner that can completely destroy tons of Ancients at probably an earlier rate than any other hero, I want to say.
Yeah, like Tide, Timbers, Beast. I think they're all very happy with some early stacks in the game.
And that's Firestorm here onto some creeps as Ace trying to create some space, but Tofu's the one taking most of the damage from Toronto Tokyo's Stapler.
It does have a salve, so he'll be able to just heal it back up, as we see both supports in the silence from Gaiman have to salve up in order to fight back. But this time around, it's Pure CS that is suffering in this early game. Just the nature of Undying.
Yeah, that is true. And how about the Morphling?
The Waterman?
I don't even know if I can take this conversation seriously. It's Medusa versus Morphling. This is literally Dream League Season 20. These heroes have both been nerfed, and yet here we are again. Same matchup, same heroes.
I mean, it's not as bad for Medusa, I guess, as it used to be, right? Because before then, you just get the Ags, you click it on Medusa, you steal all the damage, and you ignore her. But overall, Nightfall's just gonna... I mean, actually, I think it's a good morph game, but I wouldn't say it's like a free morph game if the game is even.
Well, Tofu able to secure the first Lotus of this lane. And we can see in the mid lane, it's extremely even in the CS, which is good news for... well, I guess both.
I think it's a pretty even matchup, so...
Is this like mostly just your trading farm kind of deal?
I think so. Like, it's just that GPK has like more options ganking, like maybe minute 3, like before they both get 6.
Yeah. And
then afterwards, I think there's a lot of playability through Quinn just going around. I mean, honestly, both of them are going to be very aggressive in this early game.
We'll see with that 6-man. We're going to see a lot of action top. Big fire. So much damage. Ace is taking a lot of damage from the briefcase as Toronto Tokyo will die, but not before Ace. So getting that extra XP advantage. And Bebop's going to be happy with this exchange overall.
Well, just a level 2 Astro Spirit here on this Stapler man. Just gives his Nightfall the first blood, which is very, very big in that top lane. Oh.
Celery with the decays. I mean, is he... how many blood grenade? He only has 1 blood grenade, so really needs to get on top of his game. Needs to watch some more replays of Solo. Maybe he can show him the hotkey that he uses to buy said item. Because he certainly does not open the shop that many times, being that old. I mean, that is true. I can attest, when you get to that age, you gotta limit the amount of characters that you use on your keyboard.
Let's see, we'll just probably get it with 1 button. Celery. I mean, we've only seen 1 tomb in this lane. I think generally the teams that play Undying the best, they're kind of using it like off cooldown to just get you out. And also dyrachyo out of mana. Sure, had to pop his sticks here, but BBT, they're nullifying this bottom lane.
Yep, pretty decent start. You can see 18-4 CS right now for dyrachyo and 31-3 for Nightfall on the opposing lane. So, on the opposite lane, I should say. As it is 5 minutes, so 1 minute away from this big rotation that we assume will come as GPK taking good amount of damage from Quinn.
I mean, if Nightfall gets off to a good start, I don't really see how they stop him. As defensive glimpse, as Nightfall just gets his body into Ace to just lower his HP pool. Sure, he does have the Ring of Health, but slowing him down before the Vanguard. Blast off on dyrachyo.
Dyrachyo takes the Blood Grenade, which actually does some damage now because he has no mana, and Pure gets the kill. Celery is going to have to tank up a Sticky Bomb along with some Gush action. And this looks like it's a double kill for Pure. Again, the side lane.
My goodness.
Completely dominating for Team B-Blops.
I mean, he's got the Lotus, he's got all the magic. Ace?
Oh, Ace goes down to Nightfall. Yeah, the side lane's just looking exactly like last game. And again, it feels like it's all up to Quinn as he... I mean, this time around, it's an even exchange in the mid lane. So it's actually going better for BB team. Because last time around, Quinn was ahead by like 15 CS at this point.
I mean, Boom Boom's laning, they're just so good. And I totally agree with you. It's kind of onto Quinn. Sure, they get the vision on Toronto. Looking for the glimpse.
Yeah, they find it. Shield crash, and
it's gonna go off.
Echo Stomp able to connect. And GPK is actually here. Has the Pulverize, but that is a shield rune you have to go through. As Quinn still faking out his ult, doesn't want to expend it just to kill an Elder Titan. As Toronto Tokyo wasting a lot of time here from the two members of Gaming Gladiators. But eventually he gets brought down. Actually, a little higher. You would have seen that there was a bounty rune there, but not going to opt for that. It's dyrachyo continuing to get harassed in the bot lane. Just feel like super relentless from 2B team. I mean, they're getting every side lane.
They're getting all these little trades, like all their HP trades from them. It's just way better than Gaming Gladiators. Dyrachyo already again down to half mana. And there's a Meteor Hammer, which is honestly going to come out in not too long for Pure.
Yeah, I don't think there's a better hero in the game for the Meteor Hammer.
Yeah, currently I actually feel like there's not.
Nightfall forcing Ace out again, and the question is, are there any stacks being created for Ace? It looks like there's one double stack hard camp in the triangle, and that's kind of it. And you can see Ace, level 4, forced to go.
Okay, they're
potentially
going
try
on
to
Pure.
get something.
They will be able to glimpse.
Dyrachyo's there with a couple more members along with Quinn. Getting up a nice swash, and it looks like they'll be able to take out Watermelon Man.
Honestly, much needed rotation to kind of slow down BBT's like early timings here. As Ace is forced into the mid lane at minute 7.
Yeah, well, he's getting some solo XP at the very least, but yeah, that's not exactly the recipe for success. So save is going to be spotted out, glimpsed into the kinetic field. Going to continue to disarm, but Quinn can just swashbuckle from afar.
Okay, Quinn showing up big here in this early game against Boombox team to try and push it back at least a little bit.
Yeah, GPK, they see Ace, only level 5, but Quinn is there with the Rolling Thunder. He's going to connect onto GPK. And now he's on the run. Doesn't have an onslaught available to him, but Quinn hitting the side of the terrain actually works out.
Have a glimpse.
That was probably on purpose then. As GPK trying to get away with a swash is there. Firestorm as well, and finally they can put GPK in the ground.
Radiant's top tower.
As Nightfall takes down the enemy safe lane tier 1 tower at 8 minutes. At least some good early rotations from Gaimin.
Yeah, and they certainly needed. These side lanes were kind of a disaster. You can see the net worth now. Dyrachyo has been given enough space to catapult himself to top 3 overall. And the big concern for Gaming Gladiators was Ace, who's only 300 behind Pure now. So I feel like they've come close to equalizing what was a horrific start for them.
I mean, they nullified it a little bit, as now, okay, if Nightfall keeps pushing in the lane, Ace will be able to get some space, but even with what's going on right now, dyrachyo has no levels yet in the split shot, so he's definitely going to be forced to stick to this bottom lane, at least for a little bit.
And Pure very close to that Meteor Hammer, and with that, Habibi team will have the opportunity to do a lot of damage to these towers. He'll be able to take stacks a little bit easier, and it's not a hero that you can ignore.
Absolutely not. Like, it's hard for him to kind of push out dyrachyo in the lane, but he can slowly take the tower. And looks like for Gaimin, they mainly want to play through this safe lane. Or maybe not as they move back to mid, but GPK he's a hard kill at this point. Tofu though, also having a good performance, as his static storm is already available.
Dyrachyo's going to get some company in the form of BB team members. GPK taking out a stack though, so he will not partake, but like we said, the Meteor Hammer's online, so maybe they can just leave Pure as a solo down there.
Yeah, I think honestly they don't have to play through him too much, as an active rune is spawning, so bada bing, bada boom. Might want to be looking at a play here. I mean, bottom rune, pretty hard to contest.
Yeah, Quinn's going to be able to grab the invis. Everywhere he goes, the rune will spawn. We've learned this throughout his career.
That's of course very true, as Gaben is watching every Quinn game.
Nightfall with 1,000 net worth. I mean, you can see BB team have 1,000 net worth lead right now. It's literally Nightfall, his lead on the rest of the pack.
And so the thing is with how do they really stop him? It's a very hard kill to be executed because you would have to smoke out of fog and like static him like basically instantly without him popping morph. So, you know, doing that is not an easy task. So honestly, Nightfall might just, I think it's natural. He's going to stay top net worth for the entire game.
No. Most likely, very difficult hero to kill. I mean, what other options look like from the game inside to try to nullify the Morphling going forward, like mid-game and beyond?
I mean, looks like they're... Never mind, that they smoked, but Quinn is going to be like, nope, just going to break that to do that here. Well, they do have decent team fight against them, right? You have the Aura to maybe try and ignore him a little bit, or glimpse static into some Diffuser, Mana Burn, and rolls. I think Nightfall, he is no stranger to this Morphling.
No one is. We've seen it every single game for like 10 months now, okay?
That is true.
I would hope he's an expert on it now, for God's sake.
He is platinum. I mean, if you wanted to win Dota games a couple of weeks ago, or even just a month ago, you had to play the Waterman.
Yeah, that's just pubs. If you included the pro games, he'd probably be...
Master Monker tier.
Yeah, at least.
Looks like Bebop's gonna go for a smoke. 3-man. So is this where they want to try to kick out the dyrachyo from like his safe lane bottom side? Kind of looks like it. So they want to help Pure take this tower, and I mean, ideally for them, they'd also want the dyrachyo here.
Yeah, and you can see Pure pushing the wave now and shadowed by these smoked members from the BBQ team.
Is under attack.
See if they're able to take this down. See if they can find dyrachyo. They will with the onslaught. He does not have Stone Gaze, by the way. I don't think he's holding any points. The TP's coming in. Blast up from Save. The Echo Stomp is there, but there's so many GB team. Pure gets off the Ravage, hitting most of Gaming Gladiators who have shown up, but the Medusa is already dead. Tofu gets off a nice Static Storm onto Tide, can't counter that, but look who's come to play. It's the #1 net worth hero in the game, Nightfall. Gonna get the gush onto Ace, who's now left to his own devices, but Quinn is here now. Gets the Rolling Thunder off, connecting onto GPK. Ace will likely go down to the casual right-click. Cellular will drop as well. This is an absolute bloodbath. Complete slaughterhouse as Quinn, the last remaining member of Gaming Gladiators to survive. And Bebop's team, they've only lost one hero.
Okay, they've got the diffuser on Quinn. I mean, he's trying to like save this fight, but no, his diffuser is coming now, but very uncharacteristic from Gaming. I think generally we don't see them make such a, I don't know, such a mistake. Mass TPs into losing the fight afterwards as well.
There's the diffusal, as you said. I mean, at what point do you think, and we can talk about this fight, I suppose, first.
He didn't get the sticks off. Honestly, that could have been a big deal, but no level of Stone Gaze. So how do you really fight back here? And without Quinn available and right before his diffusal, I mean, not the fight you want to take here. But B-Blobs, they just kind of force this on you.
Yeah, the fact that they only lose one hero, pretty incredible, considering they're diving a tower here, essentially, on the Gaming Gladiator side of the map.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
All right, what did you want to ask?
I didn't even care.
Okay.
Slash even remember, of course. Pure.
Not as animated as with the Axe Maul, but still a 4-for-1. He'll take that.
The Calling Blade is the most satisfying spell in the game. It's almost like an electric shock.
It is an electric shock.
Understandable. As Quinn, looks like he'll get the tier 1 tower by himself.
That is a pickup. Pretty good for them to just pick that up as, who's that? Tofu saving up 1,400 gold, so he'll debate in terms of what he will want to get next.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom
Nightfall is just so far away from everyone in terms of his farm. Question is, can dyrachyo save Gaming Gladiators again? The last time they were in this position, he went Rapier. They were down 25k at one point.
Yep.
And they somehow pulled it out. I don't know how, but they did.
I mean, can never count them out. And also in terms of the first Roche later, you know, B-Blobs got Morph. You can take it pretty nicely. I don't know if we have any medallions or Solar Crest coming out. I don't think they're too close. But for Gaimin, you've got the Undying, you've got the Pango, Underlord with a potential Aura. So this is something they could look to abuse in like the next couple of minutes.
Yeah, and in the series that we've been casting of BattleBots, they've taken these early Roches as well. So we'll see if they end up going down the exact same kind of methodical nature and strategy that they've been following. It's been around, like, I want to say the earliest is around now, but they don't really have a team that can take it super fast. So maybe like 18, 19-minute Roche.
Yeah, like if they had an Undying, which generally they do, so it's good for Gaimin that, well, they're the ones having it, because otherwise I think they would maybe already be looking at that, because your Gush is still low level, so the B-Bots are going to have to wait a little more. I think you're going to need a couple of these levels. For now, looks like Pure going to position himself in the mid lane now, and maybe just slowly meteor hammer down this mid tower.
And we should talk about the auras from Ace right now. He has Mech, Vanguard, that's not an aura, but you can take it apart for the eventual pipe. And I'm not sure if, I guess Crimson's not particularly great this game. Yeah,
I wouldn't say Crimson is amazing, as Morph is a very hybrid hero. And the other heroes don't really deal too much right-click damage. Quinn was looking around, but I mean, going on pure mid is just pretty hard. I do like that he's looking up top, and I mean, the power of active runes.
He's gotten every single one, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and that is incredibly important here for Gaimin, because, yeah, you're down 2k gold, but you're gonna need every little bonus power spike you can get. As GPK has got his BKB. He is incredibly strong now as well.
Yeah. That is the biggest power spike you can possibly have on Primal Beast, because it's literally needed to use your hero in a lot of cases.
And Quinn is he's forced to buy a Linken's simply because of the Primal Beast matchup.
Yeah, that feels bad.
And I guess they could still work around it, like if you just have more of Adaptive Strike or you gush the Linken's off, because obviously now you can use those spells on the roll. You can just break the Linken's and still get off the Pulverize.
The fact that he has to go Linken's, he's going to go Blink after the fact almost certainly, so that he can actually close the gap when he uses low, because you're not going to want to use your ult up close and personal at all with this type of a build, which means in the end he's going to be doing a lot less damage than he usually does, because typically this is the Aghanim Scepter slot.
Oh, they might be running into Quinn here.
Oh, Quinn gets pulverized right off the bat, but the Static Storm save from Tofu. They're going to try to turn this around as Quinn actually canceling his ult. The Ravage comes out, not hitting anybody, and Quinn not able to find a connection initially because of the BKB, but at the very least he forces that BKB out from the likes of GPK. And now Pure.
Oh, here comes the gate.
Yeah, we got a big Fiend's Gate coming in from Ace. Kinetic Field's going to hold the Tidehunter in place, but Nightfall has come as well.
Stolen
turns into the Undying. That's a nice tombstone, but they're going to be able to kill it relatively easily. He doesn't have a way to heal it there, as Ace completely out of mana now. But Titan ult comes out, not a huge connection overall. GPK, another Pulverize. It's been that long since this first usage.
Quinn is
He's going to die inside the Kinetic Field. Nice job from Gaming Gladiators equalizing this game.
Oh, is it even over yet? Does look like it. As Tofu.
Wow, Blink Dagger.
He's got a Blink. And also, what a sick static at the start, as well as I kind of like what Pure was going there with the Ravage to cancel the roll, but just not in time. As B plus B team.
They've been picking up bounty runes constantly from the trusty shovelers.
I don't know. I mean, he was holding a lot of gold thing. He just had a good early game. There was also a very nice glimpse in the fight where GPK tried getting back in, but he got his onslaught cancelled by what seemed to be a preemptive glimpse.
Well, just like that, Gaming Gladiators with the net worth lead. And the question is, can they be the ones to eventually get this Roche? As the timer is, well, not the timer from the spawn, but the timer typically when teams will take it, is approaching. Tier 1 tower taken out, GPK in the trees.
Of course, he does have this BKB. He's just going to gate on out.
Yeah, very nice and casual.
But I must say, so when you're just, I mean, I wouldn't say it's a single core Morphling, but he's most of the like static output damage. And now when you play into this Underlord with high level auras, basically max out aura, and he has a pipe with mech, I could see bada bing bada boom team running into some damage issues here.
Well, pipe now coming online for Pure, so we'll have that magic damage mitigation.
Yes, what can they do with the... So this Tofu with the Blink, like maybe they can try to really surprise the Morphling in like a fight where you get to static him with like just a pit and you keep him in place. I think you could kill him from full to zero. Or maybe the Tide, like when the Dyrachyo then gets in there with a Stone Gaze and Quinn gets to hit. They're strong right now.
GPK. He only has one member of his team next to him. They're going to go through the gate. Quinn, is he going to spot this out? He gets a swashbuckle. Not able to cancel the channeling, but they will be able to pick off an ET at the very least.
Still some great kills. I must say, honestly, Quinn is just coming in clutch. And yep, he's got all the active runes in the game. Getting closer to this Linken's, as we've touched on. Very much needed as Nightfall working on this disgusting Aghanim Scepter.
Yeah. Tower is under attack.
Getting relatively close, and we'll turn into Medusa in all likelihood. I mean, decent options all across the board, really.
I think, yeah, turning into Medusa is just really nice because she's like she's hitting so many heroes at the same time that when you lower her damage and her attack speed, it really matters a lot. As they're looking, Nightfall does sniff it out. Will only keep his Manta down here. Oh, 4K lead for Game, and they've really turned this one around.
Yep. They have. Will they realize that Tormentors are on the map? Will either team this game? I mean, we can look at the shards to see how important it is for their team. B-Bot, they have the Techies, they have the Elder Titan. We talked about ET being kind of
Techies okay, ET is trash.
Okay. So maybe not worth the trip. But on the other side,
you got the Gravity Babbity.
You do have Grab Ally.
Okay, Pure's here. Well, he'll goes right back to where you came from.
Now they know that he can't come here anytime soon, and that's a nice Wisdom Rune pickup by Quinn.
Double Wisdom Rune like this while you're ahead in net worth. Honestly, this is really damn nice for Gaiman. As now it makes more sense why Mr. Pure tried to TP down there.
Yeah, dyrachyo going for second item Scotty, so opting for more tankiness.
Honestly, Gaiman scaling is pretty good. I'm starting to favor it over the BBT side here. One thing that could maybe swing it is this first Roche. I would assume that Nightfall is currently telling his boys that, yo guys, we need the axe, and then it's gotta be go time.
You think that's the power spike for a B-squared team?
I think for the starters now, yeah. Like Pure is still 1,300 gold away from Blink, 1K rather, so I don't think you can wait for that. GPK has got Blink BKB, so he's strong too, and they're just bleeding in net worth. You gotta do something.
Yeah, but they don't know that necessarily.
That is true.
They might think it's even. I mean,
they might think they're ahead.
When they're up 25K, they still lose sometimes, so maybe the net worth doesn't matter. It's just
maybe they need to be behind to win.
That's true. Boom Boom team, this early game, if you could call it the first 22 minutes, this has looked a lot different than basically all of them.
This might just be the first time that they're significantly behind at 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've seen that before.
Yeah, very unusual. GPK, Pop, he's going to blink in and get the pulverize onto Celery, gets blast off as well. Perma, somebody says stay alive, that comes out. There's the static still onto the Techies with the control onto GPK. They force out his BKB as Quinn continuing to chase, gets a nice watch as well. Trying to TP out, he will actually be able to survive. And Nightfall's going to TP on the high ground, so all they get is ace, but still, I mean, a 1-for-1 based on the fact that you're the ones getting initiated on is not too shabby.
Yeah, and you did get the BKB out of GPK, and we can see some of like the damage issues, right? As Tofu survives for like what, 8-9 seconds, just with Ace coming by with the gate, dropping him the auras. But another thing about Nightfall turning into Medusa, he's got the Stony Snake. But it looks like that might just be a free Roche.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Looks like it. Now the question is, do you give this to Pango or Medusa? We've seen it kind of flip-flop back and forth.
I would say at this point, dyrachyo should not be dying unless he majorly messes up.
And dyrachyo is not really doing a ton of damage yet either.
Yeah, like he can... I think the idea is already that the boom blocks will try to ignore him. So you give Aegis to the Pango to like just make it harder for them to ignore multiple heroes. Oh, I like the switch up from dyrachyo. He's queuing up the Silver Edge. Really damn good against this Tidehunter. Just going to give them also like another win condition in the fight to just break through him.
Yeah, very true. And they do have the Disruptor, of course, as well. That one of the few heroes that can counter the likes of Tidehunter in some respects. He can't crack off the Static Storm.
Gem as well now for Gaiman.
But there is a blink now on Pure.
I think
how fast they want to get some aggression going.
It's honestly what they need in this game, I think, because for them, I think Boombox team need to be a lot more explosive in like how they engage in these fights. Like they need to go in together, drop the Ravage, get in there with GPK, then turn into the Medusa and like just put all your tempo in there and take the fight.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
And Quinn trying to create some space so this tier 2 could be uncontested. We can see GPK and Toronto2 on the high ground. They're going to pop the link instead of pulverize to follow. Pure jumps over the newly picked up Blink Dagger, and that is the Aegis. Will he be able to get out? The Ravage comes out. He gets to the high ground first, though. Trying to get the roll. Will be successful. Beautifully done from Quinn. They waste the Ravage. He TPs out. So in the end, you're trading Ravage for the Aegis.
No, he got away with murder there. My goodness. I did not expect him to be able to get out of that one as we have Tormy time.
Yep, they just, you know, Bebop team, they just happen to be in the area, so Tormentor will be theirs. Celery will actually live throughout this.
Easy Glimmer Cape. Well, not Tormy time? No, there it is.
Okay.
I mean, Ravage is down, so sure, you lost the Aegis, but... Wait, what's going on?
This is the worst Tormentor attempt I've ever seen, and it's going to go to save, so at least they dodged the Elder Titan shot.
I mean, after all this effort, they better get it on Techies.
Everybody has to go back to base.
They lost 2 supports for it.
I mean, I would say, I guess, yeah, the shard is pretty good on Techies this game as well. You got Morphling with a lot of mobility, you got Primal Beast that wants to get in there, so not too shabby.
I mean, honestly, Gaiman can kind of, like, I think they're happy with what happened to the Aegis and the fact that you traded it for Ravage, which means you're still going to get these outer towers even without the Aegis. Because I don't see the Bebops fighting into you now.
Yeah. But the problem is that was a pretty early expiration of the Aegis. So
that is true.
The Ravage will come back, and they will not have Aegis.
Tier 2
tower. It looks to be uncontested. Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason that Ace is undefeated on this Underlord. I think he's like 31-3 throughout the season with this hero. Because with his items, considering the start he had, he's putting on a sick performance. The Halberd now against the Morph, the Auras. He might just be the difference maker in this game later with this Morph Medusa matchup.
Nightfall trying to finish up his BKB. Yeah, what are the big item spikes here coming up? The Silver Edge, that might actually be finished on dyrachyo.
Yeah, I think the Silver Edge plus the Blink. The Silver Edge is flying out and the Blink for Pango as well, so this is what Gaiman are kind of waiting for. Whereas for 2B team, so you get the BKB. I mean, it's mainly just the BKB on Nightfall, because these other 2 Halberds you're gonna get eventually on GPK and Tide. They're nice and dandy to like delay the fight, but I don't see it like really swinging the fight. I think it will just delay what's gonna happen anyway.
See Toronto2 ordering the troops around. The old position 2 for Team Spirit, now position 5. Things are not going that smoothly for Baby Bottom team so far in this game.
I mean, that's why they need him to step up. TI winner probably knows what he's talking about currently. Hopefully they'll listen to him.
Yep, hopefully. I mean, they have a lot of hot-headed individuals on the team, as we've talked about a million times. Silver Edge being shown.
Oh, nice manta.
He's not afraid to fight, but
he got up the gate too.
Is there. GPK trying to TP out. Monster. There's a stone gaze there, young man. GPK will try to trample away. Mystic Snake's gonna slow him, and he's just gonna die. I actually cannot believe he tried to TP there.
That was a sick play from dyrachyo. Like, this is where a lot of the times people will call him out, this guy dies like a clown. He's in an aggressive position. He manta dodges the pulverize in the start, then gets off the stone gaze. It's like he's baiting. He just got this kill on GPK basically on his own with aggressive positioning. Honestly, monster play.
He's going BKB on Techies.
It's not the first time we see him do that too. He did that the other day.
It's still really weird. I mean, this is the Philly Stone going to work, I guess.
Do you know how many different heroes Safe has played this tournament?
I'm going to say 3.
4. You were close. Techies is one of them.
Damn.
I mean, they're making it work, so.
Yeah. He's the Kaka of 3 heroes then, I guess.
He's the EU Kaka.
Yeah. Tier 2 tower. 4 gaming gladiators. Still a long ways from Roche being able to spawn at all. Quinn, another power rune. Man, I would love to know how many power runes he has gotten. Like, what percentage of them?
A lot.
Up to this
80%?
At least.
I'm going to go to 80. They're sniffing out the young man pure. Oh,
doesn't see. I thought for a second that maybe there's like a bug where the
maybe if you... I mean, the thing is, he was already hitting things, so then it's, I guess, harder to decipher that.
Like, I know that if there's a Maelstrom proc, you can see the effect in fog.
I mean, also, if you hit people, you hear the sound. That's okay.
Yeah, true.
We've got a big smoke from Bibbidi Bobbidi team. Gonna go through the bottom lane. Yeah, still 9k down at this point, and no Roche in sight.
They have everything up now. We can see they're not really gonna find anybody off the bat, at least. See if they take the gate. Looks like they will be. Gonna get some wards down for the eventual Roche, I suppose.
Yeah, it is still quite a little bit away, but they're setting up for it for now.
Yeah, it will be a daytime Roche at some point here. Although, I mean, it kind of depends on how long the Roche off lasts as well and how long the initial spawn is. But either way, they have control of this area. And when you have a Techies, this is maybe the best use case of Techies in general, is these Roche off scenarios.
No, for sure, like holding areas, but also most importantly, preparing areas. So the fact that BBT are down here for now, and I get to put out a ward, put out a sentry, and maybe just like kind of mine up the entire area of this around the Roche pit with save is honestly very useful and necessary for them.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
As Philly Stone is going to continue to go to work, because why not?
It's still putting in overtime right now. You can see a lot more gold. Only 3 more bounty runs. That means that Gaiman have been getting the later versions.
Dire's middle tower is
You actually figured it out by yourself.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Pretty good. As the halberd soon to be completed. But I mean, 2B team have to deal with their waves again, so this could be a potential timing where Gaiman get to go down bottom, retake their own area, kind of, around this Roshan, because, I mean, we don't know yet how soon Roche will respawn. We'll see it in 20 seconds.
Ooh, that's a lot of Lotuses.
Look at, he's got the stack up as well.
Oh, yeah. All right, guys, you've seen this before. They certainly will not use these Lotuses. They will be creating a block of cheese at some point.
Of course.
Gaiman Gladiators know what the fans want. If you're a Quinn hater, even though that's not Quinn, that's dyrachyo. If you're a Quinn or dyrachyo hater, you're going to love them after this game when they make that block of cheese and then lose. Because you get everything you want. You get to see the block of cheese and you get to see them lose for the haters.
Wow, that's a double whammy. I mean, Medusa is like the best carry to even have these Lotuses. Like, you make more of them, even just put them on your other teammates. As the Bebops are getting ready. Good ward on bottom from before, and now in the jungle.
Making an avenue towards dyrachyo. Boom Boom team are ready to go. Smoke immediately popped, actually, but GPK gets up the BKB. Cannot find any sort of connection, though. He has to onslaught back to where he came from, onto the high ground. Quinn coming in with a Rolling Thunder. Has a shield rune applied as well. Not able to find anyone, though. Swash even misses. My goodness, there's a lot of spells.
Everything's missing.
Completely whipping, even the Static Storm. Wow, good hit. All right.
Brings into it.
Yeah, GPK back into the fray. Onslaughting away now as the Stone Gaze not really going to fully proc on anybody. They break the Tidehunter, but absolutely no follow-up whatsoever.
Oh, the splitter!
How about a 3 with a pulver the goal into the ETO and the Ravage Apollo from Pure. Ace, he's the one that takes the brunt of the damage, but he's still alive somehow, getting a monster firestorm onto several heroes from B-Boom Squad. And Nightfall, another missed swashbuckle.
They have nothing left in the tank.
Nightfall is broken up. GPK running out of steam. He gets glimpsed back, and he's going to eventually get brought down. That's 2 dead for BB Squad. And
my goodness.
This would make a great This is what nerves do to people. Yeah, that would make a great What the Horse episode. That's actually true. Will they, miss literally every spell? Because that's what happened.
I mean, they just kind of ran. This was a sick Earthsplitter from Toronto Tokyo. Like, I don't blame them for committing on this, but Ace is just so tanky. As is dyrachyo. He gets the halberd off from Nightfall here to Overwatch. Just keep. I think there were also maybe Lotuses that got like moved around as well, and just get to see BB team squads. Some of the damage is just not really coming through. The BKBs aren't there anymore.
It's going to open up another Roche for Gaiman Gladiators. This is the Aegis and Cheese, which they will not use because they want the block, of course, for the fans. But, yeah, this game's delivering. We were hoping for a game 3, and I mean, who knows what can happen in this game, but the 16k leads do not matter.
They don't matter at all.
But either way, Gaiman Gladiators in a good position right now.
Very good position. The point is, so Nightfall needs an MKB. I feel like they cannot deal with these heroes right now. Like, he needs to cut through either the halberd of the Underlord or the dyrachyo later. And I think their biggest kill has got to be Ace. You need to remove these filthy auras out of the game. They're just doing way too much.
Well, finally, Mr. Quinn gets the Aghanim Scepter, something he's had to delay for so long just because he needed the Lincoln Sphere and the blink after the fact. So now the damage, he actually did take the the 15 talent, despite not having the axe at that point.
Because he knew.
If he knew he would want it.
Glimpse back.
Yeah, Halberd used onto the Medusa as Quinn gets off the roll, but not really finding any meaningful hits. So we'll have to roll back in shame as Gaming Gladiators might have to reset completely.
Okay. Get to hold pretty nicely as they were looking for a little bit of poke, but GPK, no need for him to use the BKB. But I do have to say, Team BBQ, you also have the Philly Stone on Toronto, Tokyo. And some scaling ET in this game is honestly also no joke. Like, he's more than halfway with his own Aghanim Scepter.
If that's true. GPK spotted, but you can see Celery not quite close enough for a glimpse. And that is maybe the scariest thing. I mean, even if you have to pop BKB, that feels atrocious in a situation like this. And now Gaming Gladiators just completely starving everything off the map for BB team.
I mean, at this stage of the game, any small victory matters a lot. Whether it's a small cooldown, a BKB charge to then go later, or you go around with some smoke or some observer ward. And dyrachyo with this MKB, 3 minutes left on the Aegis, they just want to force a little bit.
Yeah, they're certainly going to poke at the very least, but yeah, plenty of time on this Aegis. Still with full, like, half duration left on it, 2.5 minutes effectively. And MKB is just purchased as well, so that's going to be flying out.
That might be what they were waiting for, because they didn't commit yet as GPK.
Yeah, we have the Pit of Malice from Ace. There's another Rolling Thunder from from Quinn, I should say. Gets off the roll up as well as GPK is completely controlled. Already at half HP, has to upper and run away. And there's a status onto Pure, stuck inside the kinetic field as well. Can they even finish the job? But GPK coming in with the pulverize onto the Medusa. Can they burn this Aegis at the very least as the ET ult does connect, but they've lost Pure. And even if the Medusa goes down, he's going to have that second life to work with. Nightfall, his BKB is already down. Shield crash from Quinn using the Aghanim Scepter to the full effect. The save, deeping in very deep here. The glimpse back onto Nightfall into the kinetic field. Flash going for the extra damage, and they get him. Down goes Nightfall for 70 seconds. And this is going to be a full set of racks for Gaming Gladiators at the very least.
Just what a sick fight as they just keep it going. Tips coming out all around. Game feeling good. That's racks number 1. I mean, they're going to... How much more can they get? Morph is still biting for 50 seconds.
Yeah, this is double racks, I think. Another fortification comes out, and that's going to be the last one.
I mean, if maybe Toronto can come in with some clutch stomps, but also no BKB on GPK. That's the
onslaught. A sheep stick on Ace. That's going to be a pretty big reveal, potentially. But yeah, 2 sets of racks going the Gaming Gladiators' way, and let's see if they continue on for the potential megas. 30 seconds for Nightfall. They're going to have Pure back with the Ravage, and of course, Gaming Gladiators are not sure about this buyback situation on Nightfall. So they do have to be a big careful. Quinn, he's going to get the Rolling Thunder with the Hex initiation from HGPK, stuck inside this Pit of Malice, continuing to be stuck there perpetually, it feels like. He's been rooted like 12 times this fight. He's just dead! 1 full minute of no Primal Beast as Pure gets glimpsed back. Still has the Ravage to work with. Morphling is finally going to come here. He gets broken and dies. He knows that he can't buy back, so just has to expend everything that he has, but it has very little effect on the game. And still, throughout all of this, the Aegis still remains. Nightfall is going to finally burn it. At that point, feels like dyrachyo is begging for death. His save goes over the nice blast off Nightfall, trying to do the job with the EPO coming in. They're actually getting rid of the mana very quickly onto dyrachyo, but the Pit of Malice coming in with Quinn Swashbuckle, keeping this Morphling in place. He gets 4 stacked waveforms away and gets glimpsed back and will be eventually brought down as GG's come out, and only fitting we're going to a game 3.
I'm so happy we're going to a 3-game series just in this game. It's Quinn, he was everywhere in this matchup.